On day 20 of the nationwide lockdown, after the directive that all officers who are entitled to official vehicles should return to work, officers and ministers are now getting back to office. Some of the early people to return to their offices were Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda, Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar, Tourism Minister Prahlad Singh Patel, among others. Along with them, some of their support staff have also been asked to rejoin work, around 50% of them. Those who have to depend on public transport obviously have greater difficulties, and this is all being now taken into account. And my colleague Sunil Prabhu spoke exclusively with the Minister for Pharmaceuticals, Sadanand Gowda, on medicine supply, on fertilizers, on the road ahead, especially on the much talked about hydroxychloroquine, which India has now decided to export to the United States and other countries. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Practically, we feel that it is the responsibility of all the ministers to attend their office with all cautions, whatever the directions that has been given by the Prime Minister and the state governments. Certainly we need to follow. At the same time, we should work. We should be a model for others. Just sitting in the home and working, it is not proper. With 50% of the staff below Jaan secretaries, we are starting our works today.
Sir, you are handling a very critical ministry, pharmaceuticals. Everybody is asking questions. Can you assure the nation that there is enough of
100% day to day we are taking stock of it, and what all things that is required for another 10 days, that will be kept on stock, and then only the excess will be exported.
Okay, and the other issue, sir, that people are having is about fertilizers. This is a critical phase, no? And seeds and...
No, there is no scarcity of fertilizers. Already, before the lockdown itself, we had certain stock with us that has been distributed to the various states. Every day we are taking stock of it. We have got sufficient fertilizers at present. Farmers need not be panic. They will get sufficient fertilizers for the Kharif crop.
And there is no problem of paracetamol and hydrochlorine and any of the issues, because every unnecessarily there's been a lot of...
100% there is no scarcity of paracetamol or hydrochloroquine at any point of time. Only after taking stock for the domestic consumption, then only the rest will be exported.
So you've heard there from the Pharmaceuticals Minister, but as Sadanand Gowda points out, only about 50% of the support staff is able to rejoin work in the ministries, and it's excessively difficult, especially for those who have to depend on public transport. My colleague Sunil Prabhu also spoke with some of them.
मैं अपनी बाइक से आया हूँ।
कोई दिक्कत नहीं हुआ था आने में?
दिक्कत बस क्या है, बस सपोर्ट है गवर्नमेंट का थोड़ा,
हाँ,
इस वजह से इजीली आ पाया मैं।
नहीं तो दिक्कत है उसमें आने के लिए?
दिक्कत है क्योंकि पब्लिक सर्विस मतलब बस तो अवेलेबल है ही नहीं, बिल्कुल अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो इस वजह से मैं आ ही नहीं पा रहा था।
और ये जो पीएम ने बोला है सब लोग घर में रहने के लिए, खाली बड़ा अधिकारी को आने के लिए, तो फिर आप क्यों आ गया फिर?
सर एक्चुअली सर स्टाफ को तो आना पड़ेगा ना साथ में, जब सर बड़े ऑफिसर आएंगे तो उनके साथ तो सर स्टाफ भी तो आएगा सर।
तो वो लोग अकेले नहीं काम कर सकते क्या?
सर बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं, बट सपोर्टिंग स्टाफ चाहिए सर।
It's back to work in the sense that office hours are 9 o'clock, some of them coming in at 10 o'clock in the morning. Just to give you a thing, they all have to go through a check, and if you see this, this is, of course, it depends on each officer. Some of the ministers, some of the secretaries, they get exempted. That's a sad tragedy, because the CISF as well as the Home Ministry, which has issued notification, needs to understand that COVID does not spare a minister or a secretary. It is effective for everybody, and everybody's temperature needs to be checked, and that's the there's no VIP culture in this kind of public health emergency. Everybody has to be cautious. And it's sad that this is the kind of practice that is taking place, and we can show you those visuals where some people have been exempt. I feel the Ministry of Home Affairs, which is the nodal ministry, the Home Secretary, should actually inform them that there is no VIP culture. Nobody should be spared. Everybody's temperature should be checked. Every precaution should be made. And like I said, most of these people, these are officers who are coming with their vehicles. So along with their vehicles is the driver who does not have access to public transport. They want the support staff to come. That is their peons, their APSs, their all the other stuff. And they, even though they have a lockdown, some people coming from far-flung areas having to walk because they don't have public transport, then depending on their own vehicles at times. But it is like business as usual here. It's like in any office day, holds of vehicles, like as you would have seen this is a ministry, Shastri Bhavan, which has around 16, approximately 12 to 13 ministries here. And it's in that backdrop that we are seeing government starting to function. And when you say officers and above who have vehicles, it means also their retinue, their staff, and that's how India works. And that is how we are seeing a complete flooding of vehicles and everybody getting back to work, even though those who don't have access to public transport are made to come to work despite the very hardships that they're facing on the ground.